um welcome back once again. So here now we'll be looking at basic Excel function. Please, I just want you to follow me, and we'll be looking at the function. These are the functions. So we have the sum function, we have the sum if, average a, like that. So now let us start. So the first thing you are going to note is that for every function you will be using in Excel, you must start with equal sign. You must begin every equation or every function with equal sign. So now the first one we are having here is sum. And when we are talking about sum, it means that you are trying to add a data set or add a number together to give you another number. So what you are going to do is that, okay, let's try to add the total sum of mango here now. The total sum of mango, this is where I am now, the total sum of mango. Let's try to add up this, the total sum of mango here, and let's see what we got. So now the first thing you are going to do is that under it, you press your equal sign, you press sum. You can all see now this first sum here, you double tap it, so automatically it will bring bracket, that is parentheses. So what you are going to do now, this data is not much, I can easily highlight it and close bracket and press equal sign or enter. But in some cases you might have a large data set that won't permit you to start highlighting them. So all you need to do is that you have to know the cell for the first data. That means for John now, John belongs to, like mango under John now, the first one belongs to cell E2. Sorry, let me just answer that. John now belongs to what? Cell E2. Cell E2. I'm sure we are familiar with that. If you are following us, you're familiar with this now. Cell E2. This is E. This is the 2. E is the column and 2 is the row. Yeah, so now, and the last one here falls in what? Cell E11. Cell E11. So these are the cell that you input to just calculate for everything. So what you need to do is for you to know the first cell and the last cell. So, and the sum we calculate for everything. Okay, so now let's begin. So to calculate for the mango now, the total sum of mango, don't forget, start with sum. Now you double click for those that are using PC now. So mango, I told you E2, use column E11. So you can all see now automatically it will draw a line that covers all the data set under mango with the use of that column. You have to know the first cell and the last cell of your data. So you press equal sign to give you 96. That is the use of sum. So now let's go to the next one. That is you see the next one now, that is sum if. Sum if now in this aspect means that you are trying to sum just a particular criteria. That's what you are trying to sum up, just a particular criteria. That's what you are trying to do. So sum if, you can see now, not sum if, sum if. You are summing a particular criteria. And what is range? This is your range. this is your range, and criteria. Take for example, you put your apostrophe. I want to sum up only Shola, and you can see Shola here, only Shola. I want to sum up the total mango picked by Shola. See Shola, oh sorry, Shola here, and Shola here. So that is what I want to sum up now. So probably in your data you can see a lot of things that you have to know the number of this particular person in this data set, or just want to calculate for a criteria. Now you just input the name Shola, you close the apostrophe, and now your sum range under mango. Are we together now? So you close bracket and you press enter. Now this thing is telling me that Shola under mango has 40 mangoes, and we can all see, let's take for example now, let's just count, let's count it. Now this is the first one, this is the first Shola, this is the first one, 11, this is the second one, and this is the third one. So now let's, so this now, so this calculate for Shola alone. That is a function of sum if. So you can just use this sum if to calculate only for a criteria, only for just criteria. So you press enter, you can see that if you try to sum up the total mango taken by Shola here, it automatically give you 40. This is 11 plus 14 plus 15, it gives us 40. Yeah, so now let's move to the next one, and that is average. We all know what average is now. This is average. We all know what average is. So now average means that probably you are trying to divide some to the average. So let me try to, now the average, you press the equal sign, press average, automatically to bring it. So you double, you know, just press your mouse twice, it will bring you to this. So now what you are going to do, I already told you that you have to know the first cell of your data and the last cell of your data. So I'm doing for mango. So you have your E2, you can see the column now, double dot, E11, you close the parentheses, that is 12, it gives us 12. That is the average of all the mango here, that is 12. Are we together now? So let me quickly show us something. If you were on the group, I said that there is something we call autofill handle edge. This thing here that look like square under each selected cell. Let me show us. I hope you can see it. This particular thing that shows plus sign here, this particular sign, this particular place that shows plus sign here. Now if you want to do for the rest, like cherry, you want to do for cherry, cashew, orange now. So there is no need for you repeating the same function. All you need to do now is to what? Use this autofill handle edge here. You will click and draw. You can see now automatically it will calculate for the rest. So no matter how large your data is, with the use of autofill handle edge, you can use it to calculate. All you need to just click it and draw it. Now for the next one, that is the sum if, you will draw to give you the same thing. It will calculate for all. You can see now. So why these are giving us zeros? Because we have no criteria. We have no range. Yes, range. For the first one, you can see our range, and that is the name. So that's the others are giving us 0 because there is no range. All we have is what? Number. So it can't calculate for that because there is no range. So now for this one, average, you can use this autofill and do edge to calculate for the rest. So you can see how easy and simple it is now. So the next one, let me just use this to keep us together so that we can know where we are now. So we are moving to average A. This average A is more or less like average, because this average A, what it does is that it calculates for the cells that has value. It will exclude an empty cell, and in this context, an empty cell means the cell that doesn't have any value, because in Excel recognizes 0 as a value. Are we together now? Excel recognizes 0 as a value. But for Victor here now under Mango, Excel will see it as empty cell. But if there is 0, take for example, Excel will calculate as 0. You can see that under average now it's already changed. So definitely Excel recognizes 0 as a value. So now let's cancel that. It will bring back to 12. So average A exclude empty cell. So it's more or less like average because it will normally give us the same answer. Now let's try that. Now you put your average. Don't forget to put A, average A, your E2, you have your column E11. So you close the parentheses. You can see now that it gives us what? 12. It gives us 12. Now let's use this autofill and do edge for the rest. So you can see that we have the same answer. So you can use this if possible. You are doubting, probably there is an error or there is an empty cell in your data set. So you can try using average and average A to get accurate answer. If it gives you the same thing, that means that your answer is accurate. Now let's go to the next one, that is count. And what does count does? Count means that you are trying to count the number. This time you are not summing up, you are counting the number of your data set. Like 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I have 20 data sets. That is what count is doing for you. This set now, it is simple set. Like the data are not much, so we don't really need count. But for the sake of large data set, we all know the number, so you can just count this one easily. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And don't forget, this count always counts cells that has value. Now let's try it. Now equal sign, count, you double, you press it, and your E2 on your keyboard, column E11 should be right. Now to close the parenthesis, you press enter. So you can see now that it gives us 8, which means that the total data set here is what? 8. And let's confirm now. So we have 1. We already counted the other time. We have 1. Let me try to separate this. Let me try to separate it. Yeah. So we have how many? 1, 2, 3, 4. These are excluded. The Victor and Messi are excluded. So 5, 6, 7, 8. So now to confirm this, now let's make use of autofill and do edge. This particular square here. So just click, double click and draw. Now you can see 10. Let's draw again. You can see 10. You can see 5. Now under cashew, let's see how many data we have there. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Same thing applicable here. Now under orange, how many do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. So here, only count those cells that has value. That is the function. So all these things, you'll be using them in your data analysis. So you have to practice them continuously for you to be a pro. Yeah. So now the next one is count if. Count if. So the same way, the same thing is applicable to sum if. The difference is count if just normally count a value too, just a value. Anyway you see if, you are trying to condition that particular data just to count a particular criteria or a particular value. Now take for example equal sign count if. So your range, this, let's take for example, this is, I want to know how many 12 appears under mango, or how many people pick 12 under mango. Now you highlight it, or you use your first cell E2 column E11. So now your criteria, you can see now immediately you press comma, it gives you to criteria. Now just 12, you close that parenthesis, that is 3. You can see now, and let's see if it is correct. This tells us that 12 appears 3 times. This is 112, that is 1. Under Dami we have 2, and under John we have 3. So definitely 12 appears 3 times. Now let's use this autofill handle edge to check for the rest fruit. So you click and you draw. So now under cherry, this tells us that 12 appears 5 times, and let's see that we have the first one, that is 2, 3, 4 and 5. And now under cashew, how many times does 12 appears? We have 1 and 2. Under orange we have just 1 and 2. Yes, that is the function. Now let's move to the next one, that is count blank. Count blank. So what does that mean? It means that you are trying to just count the empty cell. If you are not sure that your data is full and you're really not sure if there is empty text or empty cell there, this is the particular function you will use. Start with equal sign. Okay, so this count blank, we are using it to count the cells that are empty altogether. So now let's try for mango. Always start any function with equal sign, count blank. So that's the third one. So now your range, you can highlight or press your code, that is E2 and E11. So you close the parenthesis and press equal sign. So now this function is telling us that the blank cell under mango are 2, and let's confirm that. So now we can see that John is blank. This is it. John is blank. Mercy is also blank. So probably they didn't like mango actually, so that's why they didn't choose anything. So let's use the autofill handle edge to do the rest. So now you go to your cell, use it, let's see what we got. So now it's telling us that under cherry there is no blank cell, that is why it is 0. And under cashew there is no blank cell, but under orange we have what? Blank cell, that is 5 blank cell. So and let's see that if it is truly correct. You can see John is blank, Shola is blank, Victor is blank, that is the third one, Dami is blank, and another Shola is blank. So it means that me personally, I don't like orange, and that's not true. I love orange. So just as an example. So now let's go to the next one. We have the product. We all know what product is now. Product is just like multiplication. So you multiplicate your number together to give you an answer. So Now the next one we are doing now is multiplication. That is a product. That is product. So but for your information, product has its own function too, but you can also use a particular sign on your keyboard, that is asterisk, if I should be right, that looks like star. Yes, so now let's try to multiply all these mangoes and let's see what we got. So you can use your function e2 double column or column e11. So you close your parentheses. Yeah, that is what we got. Yes, so you can use the autofill and edge to calculate for the rest. That is it. So this one that is giving us plus 10, it means that that particular cell cannot contain it. That means the value is more than that. So what you can do is that you will come here, you will come to this line between F and G. You just double click, so to give you the full value, or you can just click it and drag. And see, now you can drag, or you double click. So same thing here. Now let's go to the next one. We have square root. You don't know what square root is now. So we have square root. Let me just short this one like this. Square root. So you know what square root is. So there is a function for that. SQR. This is the square root. So now let's try to square this particular value here. That is 96. So just click that and close your parentheses. So you have 9.9, 9.79, blah 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 blah. So now you can use the autofill and edge to draw it. So you can see that. Now this count if, now you are trying to condition your data or the function to calculate more than 1. So we can remember that count if, we are dealing with just one criteria, but under count ifs now we are dealing with 2 or more criteria. So the next one we are doing now, it is count if functions. And what does count ifs function does? As I've said earlier, that count if, it's used to count just a criteria in our data set. But count ifs now, it's used to count 2 or more criteria in our data set. Now take for example, we want to know the number of Shola under name that picked 11 mango. You know, that is through 2 criteria. Now the first criteria is we want to know the number of Shola that picked, we want to know the number of Shola under name. That's the first criteria. And the second criteria is the number of Shola that picked 11 mango. So that is through 2 criteria, and you can continue as much as you want. But now based on this tutorial, let's just finish this first. So you press your equal sign, count ifs. Now your criteria range, that's the first criteria range. You press your comma, your apostrophe or quotation. Now what are we looking for? Shola. Let's do for Shola now. And what do we have? You close your parentheses, equal sign, dot. This one is telling us that under name we have Shola. Shola appears 3 times, and let's see if that is true. Now Shola appears how many times? 3. You can see 1 here, 2 and 3. So that is 3 times under name. Now I want to know how many Shola that picked 11 mango. How many Shola that picked 11 mango? That is another criteria I'm trying to look for now. So this is what you will do now. So you double click this. Now you continue from the last criteria 1. You press your comma and criteria range 2, that is under mango. So and what is the next criteria you are trying to put now is what? 11. That is 11. 11. So you put your quotation back, and okay, you already have the close bracket. You press equal sign or enter. Now this is telling us that count ifs. We have only one shola that picked 11 mango, and let's see that if that is true. Now this is it. This is it. This is it now. Just one shola picked 11 mango. The one we have now, it is what? 14. And this is it. We have 14, and that is wrong. And we have 15, and we only do criteria for 11 mango. That means we have only one shola that picked 11 mango. Take for example now, we change this 14. That means the second one to 11. Automatically it will change to 2. Now let's change this one to 11, and let's press enter. We can see now that it automatically changed to 2. Definitely it's telling us that we have two shola that picked 11 mango, as we can see. Yeah, so that is that about that. So now let's move to the next one, that is sum if. Sum if. Let me just bring it back. Sum if. Now sum if, this means that you are trying to condition 2 or more criteria. You are trying to add 2 or more criteria. Are we together now? So probably no, you are dealing with a particular something, but you are trying to condition it in 2 or more ways. Now take for example, you press your sum ifs equal sign. Now your sum range, you have your comma, you have your criteria range. Are we together? Comma. Now criteria, what is the criteria you are working on now? So our criteria range, let's take for example now we are dealing with just shola one. We are picking shola now as our first criteria. So you put your quotation, press the name, you press the criteria you want to, and you press comma. Now our criteria range 2. Let's see, or let's sum up the number of shola under mango. Now we are doing it against school. Now this is our criteria range 2. We are doing it against 2, and what are we doing now? We are trying to sum up shola under mango that went to AAUA. Take for example, we are trying to sum up shola that picked mango under AAUA. I'm sure we understand what I'm trying to do now. Our first 2 criteria is we have the sum range that is under mango, and we have the criteria that is shola that picked mango. Now the next one, that was second criteria. Now we are trying to minimize, we are trying to be straightforward in our calculation. That is why we are using sum if. So now we know that, okay, now let's do this first for better understanding. Oh, sorry. So we want okay, now let's do this first now. So we can see that this one now, sum ifs, is telling us that shola has a total of 40 mangoes. Now let's try to condition it now based on sum if now. So we have comma, we have our criteria range 2, that is school. We want to know how many mangoes picked by shola under AAUA. Under AAUA, you have your quotation, you have your quotation. So you put AAUA, you have your quotation, close bracket. Sorry, there's no comma here. Yeah, enter. Now we have 0. Why is it 0? Now let's check AAUA if there is any name that belongs to shola under AAUA. Now this is our first AAUA. Now we have John. Our second one is Dami. The next one here is Exu. The next one here is AUA Messi. So that is the three AUA we have. There is no Shola. That means that under Shola, Shola does not pick any orange under school or against school. Are we together? Now let's change that second criteria now to Exu. Now let's change that second criteria to Exu. Now let's see what we got. Now we have Exu. Enter. Now we have 26. And how do we arrive at 26? Now let's check. So definitely under Exu we have Shola. Yes, now this is Exu. This is Exu now. This is Exu. We have 1. No, don't forget that we are dealing with Mango. That is 11. And the second one, let's look for Exu. That is another 1 here. And if we are to sum up 11 plus 15, it gives us what? 26, as we can see here. So that is just the summary or the basic function in Excel. So do well to like, comment and subscribe to this channel and put on the notification button. Thank you very much for watching. So we meet again the next time.